What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back on this Sunday. Good Sunday, bad Sunday. I don't even know. It's a bad Sunday. Where we're gonna talk about Roma pushing for Chiesa or on the lookout for Chiesa, wanting to sign Chiesa, whatever you want to call it. And at this moment in time, at this club, is everything is all over the place. Like literally everything. On the field, off the field, everything is shocking about this club. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video because the signs are extremely worrying and we need to discuss those. Before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification as well, and let's go. Okay, so Roma looking at Chiesa. And before you say, oh, it's BS, it's this, it's that, this summer is going to be insane. Do I think Roma are going to sign Chiesa? No, I don't think that. Because the transfer fee we will ask, even if he doesn't sign a new deal, Roma are not going to pay that. So that's that. However, I want to talk about it because there is a possibility, there's a real possibility that these players, and even if you don't like it, it's not about Chiesa right now. It can be Locatelli, it can be Bremer, it can be Vlahovic, it can be Rabiot, it can be McKennie, name it, whatever. Every player you like, they can look at this and be like, this is a mess. Even if Allegri does leave, maybe for my own sake, I need to leave. I need to start fresh. That's a very big possibility right now. We all think Allegri is gonna leave because there's no way. I think there's like literally nobody. I don't think even Allegri can be sitting there honestly and be like, you know what? I think I have a future at this club next year. Like it's when you deep it, because I was thinking about it. I was like, let me act that I'm one of those people, or just someone who is like, Allegri should say he can do a job next season. He can turn it around. And I was finding out ways to convince myself as of why that would be a good idea. And I thought about it a good 30 minutes and I came up with 10 reasons not to do it. Like literally, like I couldn't. Every time I thought, you know what? Because he has experience, I'm like, nope. Didn't help him the last 3 years. I'm like, because he made good subs in the past. Nope. That's 5 years ago, because he's a good man management. Nope. Players checked out. So there's no reason to keep Allegri. But for the players themselves, they can be sitting there and be like, man, this is a mess. Like even the club, everything happening, structure-wise, I might be better off leaving. It's a big possibility. On top of that, you have the club saying, hey, if an offer comes in, we will listen to anything because financially we are in a mess and we need to listen to anything basically. That's the mindset the club has right now, in my opinion. That's how they're thinking. And it's a reality right now. It really is a reality that weird things are around the corner. Things you never could imagine were possible. You never thought, yeah, that's gonna happen. They can happen. Again, I don't think Roma are gonna buy Chiesa, by the way. However, if Allegri says many of these players are gone, do I think Chiesa is world class? No, never thought he was. Do I think he's this poor? No. Do I think Vlahovic should be that type of player? No. Do I think Locatelli is this poor? No. I don't think these things. I don't. It's an issue when you get dominated by midfielders we don't know, like we cannot pronounce, and then you can come out and say, oh, but Rabiot's not good enough, Locatelli's not good enough, Miretti's not good enough, Alcaraz is not good enough, Weah's not good enough, Junior is not good enough, Kostic is not good enough. I'm like, good enough for what? Good enough to be a top team? I agree. Good enough to be Cagliari? I disagree. They're good enough, but they don't show that. We don't play like a team. These players are underperforming drastically. 6 points out of 30, 12 points out of 36. They're underperforming. Like you cannot describe that in any other way. You can't, because if you tell me name the Lazio midfielders, I can't. I only know Nandes and I cannot pronounce the striker. Shudamarov? I don't know. And there's no disrespect, but that's what it is. That's what it is. They have a Serie B level team. They dominated that midfield in first half. That midfield get dominated by every single team. Is it Monza? If it's Salernitana's midfield, they get dominated on a weekly basis by Udinese, by Verona, by Empoli. It doesn't matter who they play. They can play against Rodri and Kovacic and De Bruyne, or they can play against the Salernitana midfielders. I don't know by name. They get dominated. They find a way to get dominated. There needs to be a clear out, but it needs to be on both fronts because yes, you can clear out players, but the idea driving these players is not it. When you have a coach coming out and saying that was a good second half, that's what fans wanted to see, I'm like, you're lying. Nobody wants to see that. When you have Danilo coming out post game saying lack of leadership, you guys only say that if we don't win. I'm like, bullshit. I've been saying it. Many people have been saying it for years that there's no leadership. You are not a leader. I'm sorry. You can fake it as much as you can, and some might fall for it. I will never fall for it. The moment the clubs are pushing that story about, oh, captain, oh, captain, oh, captain, I'm like, it's fake. It's not genuine. If you need to push it on a weekly basis, on a daily basis at the beginning, it's not real. And he can come out and say, oh, we need to be quiet, and we need to basically play and do better. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. When you hear Allegri talk about patience, I'm like, it's year 3, match day 33. You're actually insulting the fans right now. You're showing absolutely no respect to the club. I'm sorry. That's the reality of the matter right now. And with the players, it's the same thing. I'm not going to give these guys a pass. You cannot check out. If you don't like the coach, I get it, but you cannot check out like this for your own sake, for the club's sake, and for the fans, most importantly. You cannot check out. Your name can be Chiesa, Vlahovic, Danilo, or Pinsoglio on the bench. You cannot check out. 12 points out of 36 is an issue for all of them, from coach to players to management. They're all involved. They're all at fault. And we can sit here and say, oh, they need to find a way to turn it around. They cannot find a way. The way to turn it around is other teams not finding a way to turn it around. Bologna dropping more points, Roma dropping more points, Atalanta dropping more points. That's the only way we are going to move forward towards the end of the season. That's the only way. And then we can sit back and talk about players. But as of now, do not be surprised if weird things happen, and especially if we do not get Champions League football, because then all hell will break loose for this club, and we are in major problems. We are. But that's it for this one. I'll be live later today, so stay tuned for that. I will have guests on, so it's going to be more a debate show. So stay tuned for that one. And yeah, enjoy your Sunday while you still can. Ciao.